Walk Blessed, can I help you? That's convenient, actually. I think I still owe you an explanation. Yes, but let's talk somewhere else. Come on. So, sorry for all the secrecy. I just didn't want anyone else to listen in. Well, that moment when I neutralized the leader of the bandits in Old Dothelgrad, I'm sure you noticed that I was different then. Upset. You choose your words carefully, Saira. I appreciate that. I'll make this quick. There is something about me that you don't know. That no one knows, actually. Do you remember what I told you in the curarium about the destroyed village? Well, I wasn't entirely honest with you. Not all of it, no, and it's true that I don't know how I ended up there. But I remembered something just before I regained consciousness. Some kind of vague memory. A feeling coupled with an image. It's hard to describe because it didn't last very long, but I saw myself, but I was somehow above the rooftops, as if I flew. Below me, I saw all the chaos, the dead, the fire, the devastated houses, and I somehow felt hot, but from inside, as if my blood was boiling. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? I'm sorry, but I don't know how to describe it better than that. It was something that actually happened, I'm sure of it. But the memory, it was somehow blurred. Like a dream, but a very vivid one. Nothing. I woke up, and from there things happened just as I've already told you. But that's not really what I'm trying to get at. In that memory, when I saw all those dead bodies and all that destruction, I felt satisfaction, pleasure. As if all that suffering, all that pain was the most exhilarating thing I'd ever seen. Well, I didn't know what to make of that memory myself for quite a long time. But then, things happened that made me understand. There is something inside my head, Saira. Some kind of second soul, an entity. Most of the time it sleeps, but there are situations in which it wakes up, mostly when something atrocious happens or has happened. Blood, pain, death. Whenever I'm confronted with these kinds of things, it tries to, I don't know how to put it, tries to take control of me, and then things like Alt Dthulgrad happen. It's never managed to completely take me over, and it hasn't gotten as far as it did in Alt Dthulgrad for a long, long time now. But that memory from the village, I think that is what happens when I let myself go completely. If that name seems fitting to you, then yes. But I think we both know these stories about ghosts taking over the living are just stories to scare the common folk. If it helps you, think of it as some kind of temptation. One that's just waiting for the moment when I am too weak to contain it. Yes, it is immense, Saira. I can feel it every time it is trying to take me over. I don't even want to think about what would happen if I were to give in completely. I figure. Listen, what happened in Old Dothelgrad, I never should have let it come to that. But that moment when he charged me, the blood on his sword, I just couldn't contain it. And when I gave in, when I hacked him into pieces, I simply felt so thrilled, complete. Walk blessed. Can I help you? That's... Yes, but let's talk somewhere else. Come on.
You just wait and see. Fucking...
So... sorry for all the secrecy. I just didn't want anyone else to listen in. Well, that moment when I... Do you remember what I told... Not a feeling. It's hard. Below me, I saw all the chaos. The dead, the fire, the devastated houses, and I somehow felt... hot, but from inside, as if my blood was boiling. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? I'm sorry, but I don't know how to describe it better than that. It was something that... nothing. As if all that suffering... Well, there... It's never... But that memory from the... If it's one that's just waiting for them... Yeah, I don't even want to think of... I figure. Listen, what happened in Old Dothelgrad... I never should have let it come to that. But that moment when he charged me... the blood on his sword, I just... couldn't contain it. And when I gave in, when I hacked him into pieces, I simply felt so... thrilled. Complete. I was naive to believe it would never get that far again. Naive and stupid. But do you see now? This is the reason why I train so hard. Why I always try to control my emotions, no matter what people do or say to me. This creature inside me, it's always on the hunt. And the only way I can keep it at bay is by controlling both my body and spirit 100%. Just one moment of carelessness. That's all it takes. I don't know, Sayira. Believe me, I've asked myself that question more than 100 times. And as much as I hate to admit it, yes, there's a chance it did. I'll never find out. Only Master Tyrus, my foster father. He taught me how to contain it by controlling my thoughts. And he also advised me never to tell anyone about it, which I haven't, until today. I don't know. Probably because I was afraid you'd tell someone else about what happened in Old Dothelgrad and that would raise suspicions. A coward's move, I know, but it was the best solution I could come up with. I'm sorry. Well, what would be the alternative? Transcribe Pyrean books like the Magisters do all day? Or drop out entirely and pour hot water for the upper city's noblewomen? Look, Sayira, as you already pointed out, there is a chance that this thing inside me is responsible for the massacre in the village. And if that's true, I definitely have a lot of repentance to do, don't you think? And even if it isn't, I want to change things, to make the world at least a little bit better. And yes, I do realize that this means a lot of hardship and hard work for me, but I'm not afraid of that. Do you know why? Because that's what's missing in this world. So many people just talk, and never act, because that would mean that they'd have to actually endure something for what they believe in. One that shouldn't be an exception. Anyway, the one thing I ask of you is to keep silent about what I've told you. It will never come to something like that again, I promise. I'd like some time by myself now, and thanks for listening.
This doesn't make sense.
Well, well. The fabled prodigy. I hope you can live up to what they say about you. I really do.
Well met.
The prodigy.
My Sir de Luna.
Huh? Can I help you?
Wild mages in the temple. Grandmaster Aranthio is an unusual reputation.
You're not from here, are you? I heard you talk.
Where did I put that?
Can I help you?
hope he knows
Yes.
what he's doing.
This is too dangerous, whatever they want here. If we send spies and they get caught, Nerim will see this as a provocation.
Poor, poor people. All they did was invade a foreign country, and look how ruthless we are, sending spies in order to find out why they're here. We should be ashamed.
Save the sarcasm. We both know what I mean. You know my opinion, Tila.
I will consider it. You come at the right time, Prophet. Commander, explain the situation.
Of course, Grandmaster. Yesterday, we received word from one of our outposts in Duneville. One of the fishermen there saw warships anchoring on an island some miles from shore. And they bear the Nerimese flag.
We have already sent scouts to confirm this, and it is true. The Nerimese have invaded our land. We have a suspicion. I suppose you know that the civil war in Nerim has ended 2 months ago. And who won it? The combined forces of the Northern and the Middle Realm, led by Taranor Korek of Kabait. The Southern rebels and the remnants of the Creator's Temple have been destroyed, once and for all. Now Nerim has been united under the banner of the Free People of Nerim, how they like to call themselves. And this could be the reason for these warships. Because of this Koarek.
It is said that he helped Narathzul Aranthiel shortly before the Lightborn were slain. And while before that, he was an opportunist who changed his ideals as often as his underpants, it seems that his crusade with Narathzul converted him, so to speak. He has become a declared enemy of religion.
He also thinks of the death of the gods as the first step of many. And now he sees it his task to rid Vin of religion once and for all. Free the world from the scourge of faith. These are his words.
Though it is worth mentioning that his understanding of freeing includes mass executions and the burning down of temples. He's a fanatic. And worse, his men worship him for it. What he wants is to found a new world, and his free people of Nerim are supposed to be vanguard of it. Not much. Or, yes there is. He's a narcissist. I was surprised to hear that the banners of his free people are ornamented with a picture of his and an inscription saying, "Praise me." Well, with the small but subtle difference that it was Narazul's vision to restore the human right of self-determination, and not to obliterate every kind of superstition or spirituality.
It is plain stupid to believe a way of thinking can be beaten out of someone's head with just enough violence. The only thing that does is radicalize. Though a world without religion would be a better one, that's without doubt.
Nonsense. The people need a higher power that guides them. You can see what chaos the death of the Lightborn brought on the world, and without your orders doing, all this would never have happened.
Of course. Where were we? Correct.
What Korek doesn't understand is that we're doing this to prevent a crisis. That is the problem. Pegast?
We believe that Korek already knows about the cycle and the cleansing. And that he, how should I put it, wants it to happen. Well, I know how strange this sounds, but in a way it makes sense. For him, Enderal as the home of the Holy Order is the epitome of ignorance and stagnation. And we suppose he even knows that we are fighting these High Ones. But in his eyes, everything a paragon of the old order tries to prevent from happening must be something good. Maybe he even sees the High Ones as prophets of his new era. Who knows? Fanatics are unpredictable.
Right now, this is only an assumption, but we have to know. Right now, this is only an assumption, but we have to know. Yes. Do you know what a silver plate is? They are relics from Arctwend. What makes them unique is their power to transfer sound. Every plate has a counterpart, and if someone standing near one plate says something, the one standing near the other one hears it too. Our plan is to place 2 of the plates in their camp. That way we can sound them out without risk. You, Firespark, and the mercenary, Dalvarek. However, you cannot travel to the island by ship. That would be too conspicuous. Walk
We found
blessed,
out
Prophet.
that the Pyreans had some kind of underground transporting system. Undertrains, that's what they called them. These trains connected the most important regions of the realm with each other, and thus probably also the temple on the island where Korek's ships set anchor. If we can manage to find one of these trains, we could use them to get right to his camp. And, as it happens, we have information about a Pyrean temple in the Crystal Forest. One that is still intact enough for us to find a way into one of these trains.
The Living Temple.
That's how you call it, yes. But enough of the chit-chat. First of all, we need to find the gem that is used to open the gate of the temple. And I have a guess where we could find it. A village called Fogville, not far from the Whisperwood. As soon as possible. Joseph the mercenary has already traveled to Fogville, and you should do the same. I will meet you there.
So we are talking about accomplished facts, or what?
It is the only way. I'm sorry, Natara. Prophet, I'm counting on you. Find out why Korek is here.
Shalom, Prophet. I greet you.
Let's hope he knows what he's doing. What?
What do you want, urchin child?
Huh? I am. Why do you ask? Aren't you a little young to be some kind of prophet? What age does one need to qualify for prophecy? My father started teaching me how to use a sword when I was 6, and when I was 13, I joined the city guard as one of the youngest recruits since the first vassals. When I was 20, I was promoted to the rank of sergeant, and at 28, the Turkessa herself granted me the title of commander, after my squad and I fought off a group of Skarrig invaders at the Farmer's Coast. So no, I don't think I'm too young for this post. Path-abidingness and discipline need no age. A man on his deathbed can be as much of a fool as a boy of 9 winters, as Lorem Waterblade once said. He was a keeper, one of the best and one of the most virtuous. Even though he was only of the manufacturer's path, both his talent and path-abidingness made the former Grand Master, Del Capos, grant him the novitiate. And, in case you were wondering, his name derives from the fact that he was excellent at both swordplay and magic. Elementarism and thaumaturgy, to be precise. That wasn't common in those days. He fell in the Battle of the Dark Valley during the Blood Moon riots. A great loss for the Order, but his heritage remains.
Walk blessed, Prophet.
Prophet?
What? The streets aren't safe this time of the day.
Sir? Sure. Where to?
Blast! Blistering! Blazes!